Several days ago, I found out about this case over here. These are two Scandinavian students. One is from Denmark and the other is from Norway. They went on a holiday to Morocco and they were beheaded. Now, this reminded me of this case over here, the case of Lisanne Kroon and Chris Kramers, two Dutch women. They finished university, they went to Panama for a hiking trip, and they were murdered. Till this day, nobody found out exactly what happened to them, how they were killed. Well, I'm telling you what happened to them. They were ritually murdered. That's what happened. These are rituals. And some may say, Rashid, how can you say that? Well, I explained it before. The world is run by a Greek cult, the Apollonists. They call themselves Illuminati, the powers that be, the deep state. They call themselves with many names. Those men, those wizards, they want to keep the human population in a state of anxiety. And here's another thing, they hate females. Just like their father figure Satan does. And their father figure Satan wants them to honor Big Brother. Now, who is Big Brother? That is Apollo. That is their god. That is their hero. He is their king. Okay? This is the god they worship. Here you see a tranny version of Apollo, which we call Lady Liberty, who is not a lady at all. It's another version of the statue of ancient times that was placed in Rhodes, Greece. As you see, is Apollo. This is Big Brother, and Big Brother hates females. So the Apollonists want to bring sacrifices to show their devotion to the beast. Because Revelation 9, chapter 11 reveals that this is the Antichrist. Okay? So, by killing blonde-haired, white women, preferred with blue eyes, they are showing their homage to their king. Okay? That's how they do it. And they don't do it themselves directly. They have agents that do the dirty work for them. In Mexico, those agents are drug cartels, and the drug cartels in turn hire guys from the street. In the Middle East, one of the agents is ISIS. In Nigeria, it's Boko Haram. In Norway, you have another cult that wants to bring back the Viking Age. I forgot the name of that extremist organization. In India, you have several Hindu cults that are hating on people that don't follow the Hindu religion. And you also have those black power movements that are so-called fighting white supremacy, but in fact they are hate groups. All those movements and groups are agents of the Apollonists. The leader of all those groups and movements are worshippers of Apollo. They are devil worshippers. So when you hear of two young women killed in Morocco, that's a ritual. This one from 2014 was another ritual, and there are many of such rituals. They conduct these rituals to bring fear into people. Because once people are afraid, they can't think straight anymore. Now, when you read the comment section, I'm not going to read them for you. You can check it out for yourself. There are many videos about these cases. People show, because it's the internet, they can be anonymous, so they can show their true feelings. People show how they think and how they're affected. And a lot of folks can't think clearly. The comments reveal it. Okay? Now, no, there are trolls online, but even if someone is a troll, it also reveals that they're not in their right mind because they are a troll. So what do you do about this? Now, some people get apathetic. They think, oh well, I didn't know those two women, so I don't care. They close themselves off emotionally. Therefore, they can't think nor feel straight. Others become overwhelmed and filled with bitter passion, and that's going to be quite dangerous. Others space out. They repress things. What do you do about this? You're not going to feel hopeless, little, and useless. That is the state of anxiety the pagan rulers of this world want you in. What you do is you acknowledge these things happen, you acknowledge why they happen, and you decide to reject what the world is offering you. Because worldly people are relief seekers, they want relief. And because the pagan rulers of the world know this, they offer this relief to the world's population. How? By performing these trauma rituals, whether in the form of a terrorist attack or kidnappings like this one over here, which end up in ritual killings. They do such things to bring the population state of anxiety, and when people are in a state of anxiety, they now have this urge for relief, and then those same pagan rulers offer them relief. So they give the world's population what they want, and that's how the world's population remains blinded, so that they can't see what's really going on. I've spoken about this case before, the Anne Faber case. This Dutch girl was killed also. That was another ritual. This ritual, unfortunately, it worked quite well on the Dutch population. It caused a big collective trauma. And after that, there were other rituals that occurred that people didn't even notice. Again, they like to use blonde-haired, preferably blue-eyed women, referring to Apollyon or Helios, whatever name they prefer to use. Look, 2018 has come to a close. These things will continue until Christ returns. However, that doesn't mean that you just sit back and just, accept things. How do you combat this? First, you know who your enemy is, that's the beast. You see the statues of this entity over here. And you agree with Christ. You keep walking by faith. Because that is what the pagan rulers of this world really don't want to happen. That people are going to walk by faith. Because walking by faith is what will crush their power. Because God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. The pagan rulers of the world want us all in a state of anxiety, so that the spirit of fear will have a hold on us. So when you walk in real faith, that is what will scare the Illuminati. Not going in the streets, fighting, screaming, and rioting. So, the pagan rulers of this world, the Apollonists, they are sending people to hell by keeping them in a state of anxiety. But one thing they can't manipulate, and one thing they can't stop are people like me who expose them, who expose the rituals, and keeps walking by faith, no matter what. Will you join me? Will you join Christ? Well, that's it for now. Remember, Christ is Lord, not Apollo. Be at peace.